welcome to my BookTube channel. My name is Jackie. If you don't know me, I talk a lot about different books.
A little over a year ago, I uploaded my first BookTube video. Today I decided to rewatch some of my earliest videos and reflect on what I've learned along the way. The first video that I uploaded on this channel was actually an Outlander Blood of My Blood teaser reaction, so it's not typical for my BookTube content, but I was so excited for this show, and I had finally gathered up the courage to sit down and film some videos and share them. So that's the first video that we'll look at today, and we'll just watch a couple of seconds from it, and I'll give you some of my thoughts.
Hi friends, welcome to my BookTube channel. My name is Jackie. If you don't know me, I talk a lot about different books, and recently I've been reading the Outlander series. For the last 6 months or so, I started reading the Outlander books.
The first thing I noticed is the jump cuts were really intense. This was my first experience with video editing in a long time. I had done some many years ago when I first started my Bookstagram, but the jump cuts are a little bit much for me, but she was just learning, and mainly I'm just super proud of this version of me who finally had the courage to actually sit down, film this video, and start sharing her thoughts. Like, that takes a lot of bravery, and I'm really, really proud of this version of myself.
And I've gotten super into the books, and I've watched the show since it's been coming out for the last several years. I'm not fully caught up with season 7, but I've been watching it and I'm a huge fan. So today I thought I would do a teaser reaction to the Blood of My Blood teaser trailer that Stars released. And I just wanted to bring you guys along for this journey.
I do like the setup a lot. I was filming on the floor, so instead of sitting in my chair, I was just filming on the ground, which after a while I figured out that I didn't love to sit on the ground like that, and I wanted to be a little bit more comfortable, especially if I was filming longer videos. But for my earliest videos, I really didn't know what kind of setup I wanted to do, so I decided to just film straight on the ground, and it does look pretty decently. I mean, you can see me in the focus of the frame pretty clearly, and my books behind me, and we're pretty closer up than you are right now, but probably just a little too close into my face. That's something that I'm glad that I've changed. Okay, next let's take a quick look at my first actual Bookish video. So this is my winter book haul. It was the first haul that I shared on this channel, and since then I've shared quite a number of these. I had no idea what I was doing in this video, but let's take a look at Past Me and see how she decided to format this.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie, and if you're just finding me, I talk about a lot of different books, and
I can just tell how nervous I am in this video. I'm not even making eye contact with the camera. This was the era when I just didn't really make eye contact with the camera. I don't really know why, but I think I was definitely really nervous here, and you can kind of see that coming across.
I wanted to bring you this little book haul, so welcome to my channel. I hope you stick around. So I have a few different books to show you, some that I got for Christmas and some that I got.
Oh, there we go. I did actually make a little bit of eye contact with the camera here. Super proud of that.
I wanted to start off the new year with some new books. So these are just some new books that I've recently gotten. Some of them are older releases. A lot of them aren't older releases, but
something I noticed is that I spoke so quietly, and I definitely over-explained myself even more than I do now, but I'm just super proud of myself and just how consistent I was even back then. That's something that I've carried forward throughout the entire year that I've been posting. I've very rarely missed any uploads throughout the year. I think only a couple of uploads did I actually miss, and many of them I just posted like a day later. So I've been pretty consistent with my 2 videos a week schedule, and I'm pretty proud of that. All right, let's take a look at one more video before we move on. I'm gonna look at my January TBR and mid-month updates. So what I was thinking when I made this video was that it was the middle of the month, but I hadn't really shared a TBR, and I knew that those were videos that I personally love to watch on BookTube, so I decided to kind of make a mid-month update with it. So let's dive into this one.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to talk to you about a few.
You can definitely see how very soft-spoken I am in this. I'm just very quietly talking, and we have a different camera angle going on in this video. One of the many different camera angles that I've tried throughout the year that I've been posting. This one was really interesting because we're a little bit too far down and not close on my face, and then a little bit too far out for my tastes for how this was angled. Not my favorite, but she was experimenting and trying things out, and this was when I realized that I wanted to actually use a chair and sit in it. I'm not using the chair that I'm currently sitting in during this video. I was using a desk chair, but I kind of had to figure that out at this point.
A few books that I had on my January TBR. So those are to be read books, if you haven't heard that term before. And I wanted to give you a mid-month progress update on these books because I know that we're drawing to a close with the month very, very soon.
And you can kind of see how just nervous I was. I was tripping over my words and I'm just very anxious and tense in the video. You can see me like tensing in, but I do like the lighting. It's not bad at all. I was just using my one ring light, which I am using in this video, and it's holding up my phone. It's like a tripod ring light combo. But I didn't have any box lights then, which I do now. And since I do a bulk of my filming at night, I feel like it's really helpful for me. I think that with just the ring light, I was kind of getting washed out after a while, and I decided to like upgrade. I didn't have a microphone or anything like that. I only recently invested in getting a microphone, and I feel like it's been a big game changer about a year in, but I definitely didn't need it at this point. And if you're just starting out your channel or you've been posting for a while, don't feel pressured to. It was just something that I personally chose to do. Another topic that I thought would be really fun to cover in this video, as we're kind of reflecting back on 1 year on BookTube, is consistency. That is something that I'm most proud of with myself over this past year. I've been super consistent, like I mentioned before, and even when it felt difficult and I felt like I didn't have the time, I think bulk filming was the thing that really saved me. I got into bulk filming a couple of months into making videos, I think in like February or March, and it's been a real game changer for me. Honestly, always having at least 1 or 2 videos in the back burner waiting just in case I need to change things up or my schedule changes has been so helpful for me. If you're a newer BookTube creator or a new YouTube creator just in general, I highly recommend that because it can save you in your direst moments. And I'm so glad that's something that I've started to implement. I haven't been great about bulk filming in 2026 so far, but I am looking forward to doing some more of it soon and getting caught up after participating in Bookmas. A major thing for me with my channel was always being intentional and being consistent. So when I first started my channel, I decided that I wanted to post 2 days a week, which I've been doing since the very beginning. And I didn't really know what days of the week I wanted to stick to, but I knew that I wanted to be fixed days in my schedule. That way I couldn't really miss the uploads and I could hold myself accountable. I ultimately decided on posting on Tuesdays and Fridays, which is my current schedule. And I really enjoyed it because I feel like Tuesdays is a good day midweek where you can kind of like catch up, chat, see where you are with your reading. And that was like my initial thoughts on it. And Friday was perfect because it was heading into the weekend, so people would have a little bit more free time on their hands and it would just be the perfect time to do like an end of week updates. And that was where the initial thought for that came in. So now a year on, I'm still doing Tuesday and Friday uploads, but I've been experimenting with adding in a third and sometimes a fourth upload in a week. I did Bookmas this year in December and I posted every single day pretty much for almost 30 days. And that was a lot. I'm not sure if that's something that I will carry over into December of 2026, but it was a super fun experience and I learned a lot from making all of those videos. So yeah, I'm really glad that I've stuck with this consistency and this is the schedule that I've been keeping. But going forward, I'm still gonna do my 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and then occasional third videos. I think for me, I do a lot of my filming on the weekends. I do a little bit of filming during the week too sometimes, depending on what my schedule has been looking like, if I have exams going on, that kind of thing. But when making my videos, I try to batch film and film like 3 or 4 videos at least in a sitting, especially the sit down ones. For vlog content, that is something that I have to like update throughout the week, which is why I feel like there just haven't been as many vlogs. It is a lot to keep up with, but I am going to make that a greater priority going into this second year on BookTube because it is one of my favorite types of content to watch. I love vlogs. I love the day in the life aspect to it. So stay tuned. I'm definitely going to make them a greater priority in 2026 on my second year in BookTube. One thing that I think has been a challenge in this first year on BookTube has been filming and staying consistent and staying motivated even when the views have been low, even when it feels like you aren't connecting with people, you aren't finding new readers, and you aren't building those friendships and those things in the way that you hoped. Growing on BookTube and I think building community and connecting with people takes time. I think that's something that's important to remember. Growth is not going to happen overnight. And if you take one thing away from this video, I want it to be that growth doesn't happen overnight, but stick with it and you will see things start to change over time. I have over the last 12 months made new friends, made new connections, participated in buddy reads, live shows, read-alongs. There are so many ways of getting involved in the community. And if you're looking to grow, I think that's an important thing, to stay active in other people's comments and watch their videos as well. Participate in read-alongs, participate in buddy reads, of course, as much as you can flexibly within your schedule without burning yourself out. But consider doing some of those things, because I promise you that'll make the experience so much more joyful and worthwhile. I think those are the things that have kept me going and kept me motivated to keep posting, even when it feels like I'm not making forward progress in my channel or growing and things like that. It's the connections and the friendships that I've built that have kept me coming back. So I think that's the biggest motivator and the biggest reason why I've kept going and kept pushing forward even when things felt a little bit stuck. Overall, these connections and being consistent, I think, have kept my creative spark alive, and taking breaks when I need to. I think that's something else that's really important, to take care of your mental health. Make sure that you are taking breaks and you're not facing burnouts, especially if you have a lot of other responsibilities in your day-to-day life. And remember that it is supposed to be a hobby and something fun. I enjoy the process of making videos, so that's what keeps me coming back as well. And I hope that you will be able to carry some of these things over for yourself if you're a creator or just learn something new. Now I want to transition into talking about some things that I've learned throughout this year and things that I'm changing going forward. I think it's important to reflect and look back and see where improvements can be made, and also consider what changes I want to make for my own well-being and just what I think will be best going forward. So one thing that I've learned or I found through this process is my cozy aesthetic. That's something that I really love. I love bookshelf content. I love journaling content. I actually fell back in love with journaling at the end of 2025, and I've been loving creating my reading journal spreads, and they have been actually some of my most watched videos, my most well-beloved videos, and I'm so glad to see it, because journaling was a hobby of mine and a passion of mine many years ago. I used to junk journal all the time, and then I kind of fell out of it. So rediscovering that passion in 2025 and now coming into 2026 has been wonderful. It's definitely something I will be carrying over into my second year on BookTube, because I think it's a beautiful medium, a different way of creative expression for myself, and I just love the connections that you build that way. I also mentioned that I wanted to vlog more, and I had some experiences with just learning how to vlog, doing B-roll footage and all of that, which, if you don't know, B-roll footage is just things like a shot of you flipping a page or those cozier shots, which I do want to be incorporating more into my videos. I think they're so beautiful and cinematic, and I want to delve more into the creative aspects of video and filmmaking alongside being more creative with my thumbnails. I think those things will also make the process even more enjoyable for me when making videos, and I love the look of it. So I'm gonna dive more into that in this second year on BookTube. And I also learned the importance of incorporating my own taste. So balancing giving recommendations based off of cozy vibes and getting out of a slump and general things that everyone can relate to, but still being true and authentic to my own taste and my own self. I feel like that's so important, letting your voice shine through. And that's something that I'm going to continue cultivating in this second year. I'm always trying to think of new ways to feature historical fiction, fantasy, and romance, which are my three favorite genres, my favorite authors, and just all of my favorite bookish things. things, but I'm still trying new things and I'm interested in exploring. A big part of my personality of who I am is trying new things, exploring, seeing what sticks, seeing what I enjoy. So you'll definitely see some of that continuing on in my channel. I would try to bring some more of my own personality staple tastes into things, but ultimately you will see me also experimenting with things and seeing what we all collectively end up enjoying. This kind of segues into another point or another thing that I've kind of learned on this first year, and that's to be more opinionated and share my tastes and my opinions just more often. I want to share more of my honest reactions and reviews and be very authentic to myself. Especially at the beginning, I was very nervous, so I wasn't as authentic to my true self. I was just getting the hang of filming and it felt a little bit awkward, and now it feels more like I'm talking to friends, which I really appreciate. So I want to dive more into sharing stuff about my own tastes, giving recommendations based off of my personal tastes, and connecting in that way on a deeper level, I think. So that's something that I will strive to do more, and something that I began to navigate in the second half of 2025. Something else I've kind of learned from in this past year is the importance of continuing to prioritize and support your friends and other channels that you watch. I think that's a really big thing. It's the more that you watch other people and interact with them and create those connections, the more you'll get that in return. They always say what goes around comes around, and I find that to be really true, especially with BookTube. So I think that's something that I want to continue doing, and it's something that I've learned. It's something that's a bit of a challenge for me, trying to balance all of my personal responsibilities, making content, reading, and interacting. And that's a balance that I still haven't quite found for myself, but I will continue to strive towards going forward. And it's something that I think will always be a little bit of a work in progress for me. But I recommend this if you're starting out or if you are feeling stuck. Make sure you are still interacting. I think that's a great way of keeping your creative spark alive as well, finding new recommendations, and just getting your creative juices flowing. Something new that I'm going to be changing and that I've already been experimenting with is trying to post more shorts. Right now, I'm currently posting 1 to 2 shorts a day. I know that's quite a lot, but I'm trying to make them pretty quick, around 10 seconds, or if I do a longer one, like a 30-second or 1-minute one, I'll only post one in that day. And I'm trying to do this to expand my reach a little bit and connect with new readers. I love the community that I've built so far. I love the friends that I've made on this journey so far, but I do want to continue growing and expanding, finding new readers, learning more about their tastes, and just continue building on the community. So that's something that I've already started to incorporate, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's also a fun and exciting way of expressing myself. I am also looking for new ways of creatively expressing myself in my channel, and I think that's one of the ways that I've most been enjoying so far, and will continue on into the second year on BookTube. All right, and now we've come to one of the biggest things for me, and that is learning to let go of perfectionism. This is something that I've been working through for many years personally, and is something that I've been dealing with my videos. I started at the beginning trying to be very perfectionistic, and I'm trying to lean away from over editing my speech. I would edit all things in my videos like ums and all of that out, and I feel like I just started to come across more like a robot and less authentic, and that's something that I'm really striving towards in 2026. If I was letting one word define my channel goals for the year, and something that I think would be great one-word advice for anyone starting out, is authenticity. Being true and authentic to yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you have to overshare, but I think coming across as like a real person is going to be more relatable. And so something that I'm trying to do is reduce the amount of over editing I do for my videos, and make sure that you're posting videos even when they aren't perfect, even when you feel like they could go through another round of edits. It's okay. Let the video go up. We are all human at the end of the day, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that's part of the beauty of it. So I've also been learning a lot by doing things, and not everything will look perfectly the first time you try it out. That's perfectly fine. And I've been learning to accept this for myself. I've just really been enjoying the process of learning by doing things, by experimenting, and letting go of that perfectionism, letting go of that physical weight and tension, and just seeing where things go, letting the creative juices flow. And I'm excited for this new chapter of being a little less perfectionistic and more authentic and true to myself. So overall, I just want to give you some of my tips and advice from the things that I've learned from being on BookTube for a year. So I want to give you encouragement. If you are looking to start a BookTube channel and just haven't yet, do it. This is the perfect time to get started. January is a great month to get started, but you can start at any point in the year. I'm really glad that I started in January as part of my 2025 New Year's resolutions and have kept things going. And also consistency. Consistency is so key, but also you want to balance things and not get to the point where it feels like a job or like you're burning out. So if you're looking to start a BookTube channel or you already have a channel and are feeling a little bit stuck, I just want to remind you that slow growth is normal. It's all part of the process. And there is kind of like a saying or a mantra that I kind of have in my mind. I don't remember the exact wording for it, but it's basically like, things will happen when they're meant to happen. And that's something that I try to carry forward with myself whenever I feel frustrated or I feel like I'm doing something wrong or I don't know where to go next. I try to remind myself that things will happen when they're meant to happen and how they're meant to happen. And that's part of the exercises that I do when working on letting go of perfectionism and just seeing where things will take me. Remember that time passes so quickly. It might feel like you're stuck today and you're not growing and you're not connecting with people and you're not seeing the results that you want to, but just keep going, keep connecting with other people in their comments and keep posting your videos. And I promise it will be worthwhile in the end. Keep going, keep growing, and keep just building your love of reading. Make sure that it still ignites joy in you. Keep that spark alive and don't let go of it. That's the biggest thing that I would recommend. My biggest takeaway is don't let the creative spark go. That's going to be the thing that fuels you, even when it feels tough with your channel or with other things going on in your life. It's the passion that will keep you going. Something else is that starting out, you are going to be a little bit messy with your videos, and that is okay. Part of accepting letting go of things and not being so perfectionistic is accepting that sometimes your filming setup might look a little bit wacky. Sometimes you might not articulate yourself in the way that you would want to in that video, and you might not say things exactly how you wanted to, and that's okay. Let go. It's going to be a little bit messy. It's going to be a ride and a journey, but we all start that way. We all start not knowing what we're doing, and we learn through the process of doing. That's such a big thing. Do it, just practice, just make videos. And if you want to start a channel, make a few practice videos. You don't have to post those right away and then film your first actual video that you're gonna post. That way you can figure out what you liked, what you didn't like, hear yourself back a little bit, and see what changes you can make. And remember, my earliest videos were not great. If you saw the beginning of this video, you will have seen me rewatching some of those, and the lighting was a hot mess. I was a little bit nervous, so that definitely all comes across. But I have learned and grown as a creator over time, as a person within the community over time, and you definitely will too. And finally, my last takeaway has to be consistency, consistency, consistency. Build that habit up. That's going to be the way to motivate yourself to continue making videos, and it becomes a habit which is easier to maintain over time. There is that saying where if you do something every day for 30 days, you will build the habit, and that's definitely the case with BookTube. I'm not saying that you need to film every single day, but just get in the habit of doing the thing at least once a week or once every couple of weeks, whatever is feasible for you in your schedule without burning yourself out, and just try to get into the habit of consistently filming videos. I recommend book filming like I mentioned before, and it's just going to be so much easier to maintain your channel that way. So those are some of the lessons that I've learned from being on BookTube for 1 year. Thank you for everyone that has joined me on this journey. Thank you, especially if you've been here since like the beginning. Thank you so much for sticking around because I had no idea what I was doing and I was a little bit of a hot mess. So thank you for being on this ride with me, and I'm looking forward to all the fabulous, fun, new things to come in year 2. If you enjoy cozy, intentional bookish videos, I would love it if you liked, comment, or subscribe on this video. Any and all interaction is really appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope that you're doing well, and I'll see you for another video very soon. Bye!
I wanted to talk about my top 25 most anticipated reads for 2025. So today I wanted to react to some 1-star reviews of some of my all-time favorite books, and he also has a twin brother that she was previously attracted to, and Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. I absolutely love this story. It is one that means so much to me. Have you read any of these books, or do you have any other historical fiction recommendations for me? Wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope that you're doing well, and I'll see you for another one soon. Bye!